Welcome to CubePuzzleFun. This is a YouTube channel all about cubing explanations, and explorations. That means that I don't just tell you do this, do this, do that, and then it's solved. We talk about like why do you do different things and how does it solve certain problems. Some people call that cubing theory. I call it fun. Welcome to CubePuzzleFun. The bad news is that there used to be this awesome green background around me. That background is for another YouTube channel that I do called Live Loopers. And I got kicked out of that place. The good news is that I got kicked out of it by myself, so at least my feelings didn't get hurt, because that's important. The other bad-ish news is that we have a place for Cube Puzzle Fun to have all of its own, but it currently looks like this, and that's not much to look at, is it? No. That, but the other goodish news is I'm going to take a couple minutes and at least give myself a place to sit. And the other goodish news is that over time, this will be a cool looking place to hang out and have our Cube Puzzle Fun channel. But yeah, that'll be another day. Alright, again, pardon my background here. Today on CubePuzzleFun, we are talking about something that is called F2L. F2L is an abbreviation for first two layers. Rather than doing the Rubik's Cube one layer at a time, where you just solve one side and solve a row around it at the same time, and then go in and put in these four edges as a second layer. Instead of doing that, you can just put in a cross, which, a plus sign, and leave these four corners for putting the corners and the edges in both at the same time, and that's what the video is going to be about today. Let me scramble this up right quick. So I have been solving the cube without rotation lately. It's just something I've been doing for fun. It has been really helping me to understand how F2L is working. I'm going to really quickly create a blue cross. Alright, now on the bottom here, I have a blue cross where the white edge is over the white center, the orange edge is over the orange center, the red edge is over the red center, and the yellow edge is over the yellow center. That is what you need to be able to do before you can do the first two layer moves. If you're having trouble with that, I do have a video on how to get the first plus sign solved. For F2L, we are trying to take the four corners that have a blue sticker on them. There are 8 corners on the cube in total, but only 4 of them will have a blue sticker, and the other 4 will have a green sticker for going up top here. We, just as luck would have it by chance, you can end up with all 4 of them already down there, or you could end up with 1 and 3 or 2 and 2. That's what we have, is 2 and 2. We have 2 blue ones, 2 stickers that have blue up here already, and 2 stickers that have blue are down here on the bottom, and they are facing down already. In fact, one of them is even exactly where it goes. It's in the right corner where it goes, and it is in the right orientation. It has the blue facing down, and it has the red facing towards the red center, and the white facing towards the white center. So if you are familiar with beginner's method, the F2L moves for solving this, for getting this edge in, are going to look exactly like what you're already used to. When we go to get the red and white edge into here, it's going to just be that same old double elevator trick, and we will insert it in here. But for any of the other four, we are going to pair the corner up with its edge before we put that corner edge pair down where it goes. And for the one that is down here and facing the wrong direction, we're going to have to dig that out of there, pair it with its edge, and then put it back down. The reason why this is even a thing and why would somebody do that is because it just saves you on the number of moves. If you're trying to get faster, trying to get more efficient, or even just trying to understand cubing better, it is good to know that it can be done and to know how to do it. So that is the first thing that you should analyze, figure out is how many blues do you have down here with your blue center already, and how many blues are up here with the opposite center, which is the green center. We have two to choose from, and if you have one where the blue is facing towards the green center, you need to move it so that it is facing outwards this way or outwards that way before you can really pair it and then insert it down where it goes. Since I already have one where the blue is facing outward and is up on the top row where we can do the pairing, I am going to start with that one. It has a blue, and then the other two colors on that corner are orange up here, and yellow. So I am looking for an orange and yellow edge to pair it up with. Orange and yellow edge, as luck would have it, we're fortunate because orange and yellow edge is already up here on the top, ready to be paired with the blue, orange, yellow corner. With F2L moves, with first two layer moves, getting the first couple is pretty easy, and then getting the last two, it gets progressively harder as there's less that you can do without messing up what you've done previously. And for that reason, I offer the option to a lot of people who are just learning first two layer. You can put in the first two corner edge pairs with F2L, and then what I had been doing for quite a while is just putting in the last two corners with beginner's method. But here is our first corner edge pair. We have blue, orange, yellow. We have the orange, yellow edge on the back. We need to figure out which is facing up and which is facing out. In this case, with this edge, this orange, yellow edge, the yellow is facing up in the direction of the green center, and this orange is facing out. So since the yellow is facing up and the orange is facing out, we are going to need to flop this over in order to pair it up with this one. And the way we can flop it over right now is we can just sort of flop it over this way, and the orange will be up. The orange will be facing out and the yellow will be facing up, just like this edge, but that edge is over here and this corner is over here, so that's not paired up at all. So before we flop this over, we need to duck this guy down and put it so that these two are like this relative to one another, so that when we flop this over, they will pair up. So how do we duck this down? Well, since we don't have any corners that we're really too worried about, we can just duck anything down in any direction. But I'm going to use this little elevator thing here to duck this blue, orange, yellow corner from the top down to the bottom for a sec, while I swing this orange, yellow edge over to the back to where we kind of needed it, and then I can bring this back up. Now when I flop this over, these are going to pair up. It'll look just kind of like this, except for this one's kind of the wrong guy, because this one has green in it and we need the one that has blue in it. So here we go. We flop this over. We've made an edge pair, but when we made that edge pair, we also messed up our blue cross. So we always, when we're doing these elevator moves, bringing either flopping over or ducking down, we always need to be doing moves where we're doing it and then undoing it. Because whenever we break the blue cross, we need to put the blue cross back and try not to do too much other stuff before you remember to put it back. So anyway, we're going to flop this over. These two pair up. And now we are going to swivel them both out of the way for when we bring that blue cross back together. See, bringing the blue cross back together down there. And these two are safely still paired because we swiveled them to the back. Now, let's go swivel them back to the front and move them to where they're actually going to go and assess things. And here is this blue is going down here in this corner, and when it does, it will line up the yellows and the oranges, and we'll have a whole solid block of 4 all the way. All this stuff will look really good. So if you are a person who does beginner's method and is trying to step up to first 2 layer method, you will find this familiar, because this part is just the very end, the very tail end of the double elevator trick, where we get these two out of the way so we can bring the elevator up and bring this blue passenger onto the elevator along with the edge, the back passenger, and then bring the elevator back down. And that did do exactly what I said it was about to do. Now, our problem, or not so big of a problem, you don't have to worry about it, we're still having fun here. But now our thing is, we have one edge that we need to always worry about. When we are, if we're ducking down this corner and we duck it down this way, in order to swivel some stuff here, we'll mess up what we just did. So now we have one corner that we have to always be careful about as we're getting the other 3 corners. The next corner that I would like to worry about, because I do not see any blue corners anymore up here. I see that we have all green corners up here now. I remember that we had a blue corner that was already where it needs to be, this red, white, and blue corner, and facing in the right direction. So all we need to do to F2L this guy is just insert this red, white edge, and really all we're doing is exactly the double elevator trick. If you remember the double elevator trick from other CubePuzzleFun videos, and if you don't, I'm about to show it to you again, so don't worry about it. But you take this white edge, is facing up, and you think, what is the opposite color of white? That would be yellow. So we're going to swivel this until this red white edge is over the yellow. Okay, now here is the red, white, and blue corner. We need to bring that up, move the red and white edge that we positioned over the yellow. Now we need to pair it up with the red edge and the red center, like that, and bring that elevator down. That's the single elevator part of the single elevator trick. And really all it did was just pair our edge and our corner. And the edge and the corner also are both right over where they need to be, ready to be inserted. So all we need to do is the second elevator of the double elevator trick, which is to move these two out of the way of the elevator, bring the elevator back up, bring this blue passenger back over to the blue part that's about to go back down to the blue center, and presto. You might, I mean, when we were doing it with beginner's method, we would be used to like both of these blues already being matched up. They're not already matched up because we're doing first two layer and we haven't put all the corners in the right place. That's what we're doing now. But anyway, that makes uh, another section of 4 all lined up. We have a section of 4 over here and a section of 4 over on the opposite side. We now have 1, 2 corners that need their corner edge pairs inserted in there, and they both have the blue already down at the bottom where we need to dig them out, pair them with what they go with, and then reinsert them back down. I am noticing, interestingly enough, not anything that I planned on or could have ever planned on, but both of these corner edge pairs, this red, blue, yellow, and this blue, orange, white, both are already paired. They're just paired wrong. So they are both going to, but I mean the blue, yellow, red has the yellow, red edge right next to it, and the blue, orange, white has the orange, white edge right next to it. So yeah, they're both paired. They're just going to need to be dug out, separated, paired up, and then reinserted. So this is a situation where F2L is not saving us as many moves as it otherwise would be, but that's just by chance, and usually F2L will end up saving you a lot more moves than this. But the other good news about that is that if we have some sophisticated cases right now while I'm teaching you on this video, then that'll make when it's time to go do it on our own, it'll be a lot easier because we'll have all the tools in our toolbox to figure out how to do all the different kinds of things. So we have blue, yellow, red, and we got to dig this pair out of there. That can be done just by an elevator bringing the blue up this way or the blue up this way, either way, and then swiveling them off and bringing the elevator back down. Now our blue plus is still intact, and we have our pair over here, and they need to be separated so that we can line them up properly and reinsert them. When we dug them out, that ended up with the blue facing off to the side. So we don't have to fix it, because if the blue is facing the top, we got to fix it. Blue is facing the side, we don't have to fix it. I am noting that with the red yellow, the yellow is facing up. So when we fix this, it'll be good to keep the blue facing side and don't mess it up and have it facing up. And also see if we can get the yellow facing up to match this yellow that's facing up. So the one way we can do that is just to flop this blue corner over. Blue will still be on its side. Yellow will now be facing up to match with this yellow. And whenever we flop it over, we have to be conscious of what did we do to our blue plus sign. And in this particular case, we didn't do anything. It's fine. So we can do this, flop that over, and then have these two the way they are, and then we're going to need to put the blue elevator back down to put that plus sign back together. So when we bring the elevator up, we're going to have to move this corner off, but we don't want to move that corner off in a way that moves this red and yellow back on, because then that would suck it back down, and that would be a world of trouble. We need to get this corner, we need to flop this corner over and get this corner out of the way and get this edge out of the way. So look at how much real estate that takes up. This whole row is sort of ineligible, and this middle row is sort of ineligible. The only thing we can do is swivel this all the way around so that this back row is the element that ends up getting sucked down when we fix our blue cross. Blue plus is back intact now. This yellow red edge with the yellow facing up, this yellow red blue corner with the yellow facing up. These are all ready to be paired, and then we can put them down where they go. To pair them together, we need to duck down that corner. So this corner can duck down, and then this edge can swivel around. But which way do we need to duck down this corner? Do we need this elevator to duck it down this way, or this elevator to duck it down this way? Let us see. Let's think about where that edge is going to end up. The edges need to be paired. The edge and the corner need to be paired, so they are going to end up right next to one another going this way. If you duck it down and move this edge over here and bring it back up, there you go. That's not good. So if you duck it down with this elevator and then swivel it over to here, bring it back up, there we go. Now these edges are perfectly paired. We have not messed up our blue plus. We have not messed up the first edges that we did or the second edges that we did. Those are all still good. And now we have a third edge pair that is ready to be reinserted down there. And it is red, yellow, blue. This, once again, is the tail end of the double elevator trick. It is what would have happened if you would have had the blue corner down here to begin with, and you would have done the single elevator trick to pair them up. Now what you have to do is, since this blue corner is on the right side of the cube, you have to swing it off to the left, bring this right side elevator up, bring this blue passenger back onto the elevator, and that creates this nice pair. And as a matter of fact, since we already had this corner done, it creates a whole nice big block that when you put this blue elevator back down and fix your blue plus sign back together again, we now have 3 of our 4 edges that we need, this one being the last one that we need to do. And we will have done our F2L and have our first 2 layers all solved. As I look for that 4th and final corner, I see that it has already dug itself out. Like it was down here and we were going to have to dig it out, but in some of the other stuff that we did to get that 3rd corner placed, it already dug itself out. And when it dug itself out, also the stuff that we were doing to get the 3rd corner placed dug it and the edge that was next to it, the white orange edge. Those both got dug out. Not only did they just both get dug out, but they got dug out and separated. So the white orange edge is over here and the blue white orange is over here. So I mean, it's already done half the work for us. All that's left to do now is to pair these 2 together and insert them where they go. But as you'll recall from earlier on, I was saying that the more edges that you have placed, the harder it is, the less room there is to maneuver. So now, in pairing these 2 edges together, the only elevator moves we have as an option available to us are this move, brings up a corner that we don't mind moving, and this elevator move brings up that same corner that we don't mind moving. So if we need a left side elevator, that is our only option. If we need a right side elevator, that is our only option. So when you're first getting used to it, which like I am, I'm just first getting used to it. You might have to do a lot of swinging around to try to figure out how do you duck down pieces without messing up everything. This blue is facing out this way, and we are not needing to flop it over at all because orange is facing up, and oh wait, no, we are needing to flop it over because the orange we need is over here on this orange white. White is facing up. So we are going to need to flop this over, and the only place that we can flop it over is over here. So that when we flop it over, this piece that we don't mind comes up. But before we can pair those two together, we need to move this into the exact right position, this white orange edge, so that when we flop this over, we're going to end up with the white orange next to this white orange. So we need to get this corner and this edge, instead of being this way relative to one another, we've got to figure out how do we get them this way relative to one another. Oh bother. Well, we are going to need to duck this down, and the only place where we can duck it down is over here, so that when we bring this up, it's not disturbing a corner that we care about. This is the only corner that we don't care about. So we duck this down, and while this is ducked down in its safe spot, we change this orange yellow so that instead of being over here relative to that corner, it is now over here relative to that corner. And we bring our corner back up. Now we would be able to flop over that orange, blue, white to pair it up with this white, orange, and when we flop it over, they will pair together. And I brought it back over to here because, again, this is the only place where we can do that flop over move where it is not messing up a corner that we care about. So if I move it over to here and then do this flop over, this corner gets popped up and we don't care about it. It's fine. And these two are paired. We need to bring our blue plus back together. So we need to move these two that got paired somewhere safe, which anywhere is safe. This is safe. This is safe. Well, not anywhere is safe. Only those two places are safe. This is what we need to protect them from. And if we move them over here, oh my goodness, I feel silly. If we move them over there, then we're already done. So we should do that. We could have, what I was thinking is move them over here to be safe, or move them over here to be safe, and then bring this down, and then, but I mean, really, where's my head at? Yeah, they're already ready. They're already paired. They're all ready to go. The elevator's up waiting for them. Why not put them on the elevator right now and bring them back down? And there you go. All of our F2L, it's all done. There you go. That is the gist of how you do first two layers at one time. If you now need a video on how to solve this last top piece, we definitely have a couple videos on that. So just click on the little eye thing that pops up there. There are many, many cubing channels all over YouTube, and a lot of them will tell you about F2L, and they will tell you that there are 40 some odd cases or 70 some odd cases, and you just have to memorize them all and read and react. And when you see this situation, you do this algorithm. When you see that situation, you do that algorithm. I much prefer, I just so much prefer just sort of knowing how you do it. Just what are the tools that you need in your toolbox, and just practice them and get better and know what clues you in to what you have to do to fix whatever problem you're in. So yeah, if you need to rewatch this video, feel free. If you have any questions, I'm looking for comments. And my rap name is Alex. This has been Cube Puzzle Fun. Peace. And I hope to see you again real soon. Maybe I'll have a better looking background here in the background by then. Either way, looking forward to seeing you again.